Some sports personalities have built their entire careers off controversy, using the backlash as fuel to stay relevant and dominate headlines on the internet. Plenty of people have thrived off this exact formula, raising their voices, doubling down on their opinions, and banking on the idea that confidence beats accuracy, all just to stir the pot, dominate the conversation, and cash in as major media personalities. And ever since he segued from being a humble sports writer to the spotlight of television, Skip Bayless has relished playing the villain role.
The MVP of the Cavs is this guy. It's Kyrie Irving. I would hate to see what would happen to LeBron without Kyrie right now. The reason I can't put Steph Curry in there quite yet, he's just too little. Took LeBron 13 NBA seasons to have his defining moment. It took a finals that looked like LeBron was going to lose to fall to 2-5 in NBA finals. And by the way, he wouldn't have even been 2-5 if not for the great Ray Allen, who saved his legacy with the greatest clutch shot I ever saw. It was a finals saving clutch shot. Am I right about that?
Opinionated, argumentative, and always ready to tear down an athlete as if they wronged him personally, Skip Bayless built a name for himself through constant controversy. Even if many believed that he didn't truly stand by most of what he said, it never stopped him from saying it louder than anyone else. But while he threw out a lot of wild claims and accusations for years, that doesn't mean it was always without consequences. Long before his career got derailed by serious misconduct allegations, there were plenty of people who had already stepped up to him on live television and called out Skip right to his face. It's your boy Luesta, and these are people who checked Skip Bayless. And where better to start than the man who came at his neck for a living for years? In this instance, I'm of course talking about Shannon Sharpe, his longtime partner on Fox Sports' hit show Undisputed. Over the years, the show provided no shortage of chaotic viral moments, with both men often yelling at one another during heated debates.
Tom Brady doesn't care about stats. Tom Brady don't care about this. Bull jive!
Bull jive to you!
Bull jive!
Who cares about winning Super Bowls?
Quarterbacks are the most arrogant people that play professional sports. You know that and I know it.
Last year with Tyreek Hill.
Right now!
Hey, stop it! It is my turn.
You going back to last year.
Time out. It is my turn. I gave you all of your phony baloney that you spewed all over the table. It is my turn. It is my turn. All right.
He's 187.
Tell me when it's my turn.
It's not your turn.
Okay.
He's Phil Football got graded 37%.
Blah, blah, blah.
Okay, go ahead.
Blah, blah, blah. You done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Thank you.
And even though it eventually looked like the two genuinely hated each other, it didn't start off that way. In fact, it was their early chemistry that helped Shannon land a gig in the first place.
I needed a new partner, and fatefully and fortunately, near the end of my run with Stephen A., there was a week in which Stephen A. had to go do something somewhere, and we tried Shannon Sharpe, I think for 3 days, and I really liked him in a very different way than I loved Stephen A. But I liked our clique, and it was a whole different dynamic because he's out of your mold. Obviously, he's in the Hall of Fame. So now we had ex-player. We didn't have journalist. We had ex-player journalist.
From there, Skip realized the two are extremely similar with each other.
We both are fitness obsessed, so we had that in common. And he right away respected me because I'm like a workout addict. I just like it. I'm sorry. I apologize for it. I'm crazed, but I just do it because I like it. And so does he. And he used to say to me, we're way more alike than people think. And I believe that's true.
But it wasn't always plain sailing, as while the combination of a former NFL star and a journalist provided interesting differences in perspective, it used to really frustrate Shannon when Skip would try to debate him about football details, especially when Shannon had literally lived and breathed the game for decades.
Got two hands on the ball. Shannon Sharpe gets two hands on the ball. He catches it. That was exactly where he aimed it.
No, Skip.
He threw it to him to turn upfield. I tweeted it immediately. He has to turn and run. And he was looking to run with it and flat out took his eyes off. Nope.
It's cover two. He would get decapitated.
Sorry, you blew it again. Thank you for showing that video. Next one. What's the next video? I don't know. Did you say you had two third and twos? Show me another one.
Why would you argue
Show
with
me.
that?
I love it.
Go ahead, talk.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. What's your other third and two?
I'm done.
Seriously?
Because you're trying to argue coverage with me.
No, I know coverage. I know what that throw was. He led him upfield And Randall Cobb took his eyes off the ball because he was looking to run 5 more yards with it.
And at times, he called out Skip on his disrespectful ways. One such instance was when he was sick of being interrupted by him during a discussion around Damar Hamlin's collapse.
Skip tweeted something, and although I disagree with the tweet, and hopefully Skip would take it down, but I didn't want it.
Well, time out. I'm not going to take it down because I stand by what I tweeted.
Skip, let me finish.
All right, okay.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
Go ahead, let's go, Jen.
Okay.
I mean, I cannot even get through a monologue without you interrupting.
But if anything, this was mild, because there were other instances where Shannon seemed to be on the cusp of leaping over the table. A notable example came when Skip discredited his accomplishments during a discussion about Tom Brady, downplaying Shannon's own dominance on the field to boost Brady's instead.
Skip, I did what I did. You make it seem like I was a bum. I'm in the effing Hall of Fame.
Okay,
I got 3 Super Bowls.
So what?
So what?
He's way better than you were.
I'm better than
way
you.
Better.
Skip, what did I got to see what you do? You take personal shots.
No, I don't take personal shots. You started it.
Time out. You're willing to take a personal shot at me to say this man is better than me because I say he's playing bad this year?
Well, because you
Go ahead.
you disrespect him. It's just so.
You know
what? It's beneath your dignity.
You disrespect me to support him.
No, well, I'll support him over anybody because he's the greatest player who ever played your game, and it's by far.
And to say that this went down poorly with viewers would be an understatement, with some claiming this was very low, even for Skip. He tried to humiliate and belittle his co-worker on live television over Tom Brady. That's weak and pathetic. He shit on everything he worked towards for 30 years. And while the show continued for years after this occurred, Shannon later revealed that it drove a meaningful wedge between them.
A lot of that is my fault because there were times that led up to that I felt that shots were taken and I let it go. And he felt that he could go over the top in that situation. Whatever the relationship is, once one partner has no respect for the other partner then in turn loses respect for said partner. Then I think it's only a matter of time. Because I felt in that moment he had lost all respect for me. He had no respect for me. This is undisputed, Skip and Shannon. This is not yours. So it really, really hurt me. Had I attacked him personally, live on television, what would have happened?
He even considered initiating a physical altercation with Skip, one which we all know he would have won with ease.
I wasn't willing to throw that the 2 months that Skip and we disagreed a lot. Sometimes I think things went over the line. I didn't want that, and so I appreciate everything Skip had done for me, bringing me there, giving me an opportunity to show that I was just more than a football player. I wasn't willing to throw that away. Skip and I just needed to get into a room and talk. Skip and I, we don't have the type of relationship that Skip and Stephen A. had, because Skip and Stephen A. came from the same world. They had been both journalists. They see what they see through the journalist's eyes. I'm an ex-athlete. I see things through an athlete's eyes.
Over time, they both became aware that things went too far, leading them to try to put their heads together to bring things back under control.
That's why we work on the show. He sees things one way, I see things another way. But I think the thing is that I've conveyed to Skip is that we can disagree, but I want to color between the lines. I don't want the disagreement to go outside of the lines.
And by the time that Shannon received a buyout from Fox to leave the show in June of 2023, Shannon ultimately appreciated the opportunities presented by working alongside him.
Skip Bayless, you fought for me, bro.
Did I?
I'm here because of you. You've allowed me to share the stage with you. You've allowed me to share the platform. The opportunity that you gave me to become what I became, I'm forever indebted to you. I'll never forget what you did for me. You've helped me grow more than you ever know.
Okay, this is not easy for me either.
Despite rampant speculation online that there was something more Skip could have done to save the show, he now says that he regrets how it panned out and wanted them to bring the program to a close together.
I just have one huge regret. We weren't nearly as close as Stephen A. and I were close, but I just wanted us to finish together on time. When he was at Fox, I wanted us to finish together. As God is my witness, I'm not exactly sure what happened upstairs, but it fell all apart. And he got pushed out.
And although he doesn't necessarily regret it, you can tell that the situation still weighs heavy on his mind.
And I don't like it to this day, and I'm not a regrets type. I don't look back and say, oh, if only. But that was one where it was just wrong. That's not how I envisioned, because our contracts were concurrent. So I knew when mine was up, I wanted to go my separate way, but I wanted us to end the way it should have ended, because, man, we had 7 really good years. We had, on just pure ratings, we had about 5 through the roof years.
And while Skip probably envisioned he and Shannon's professional relationship concluding in another way, it won't be the only thing that he probably wished had gone down differently in his career. Among these moments he likely reflects on would probably be inviting Mark Cuban onto the show, an appearance which led him to get severely outsmarted by his adversary. Taken from his days alongside Stephen A. Smith on ESPN, the wealthy entrepreneur and basketball superfan appeared to discuss some of Skip's opinions that he took issues with, basically critiquing his entire profession.
It's not just Skip, it's sports writers, sports media in general, where everything's generalities, right? Excruciating pressure. What the hell is that, right? You know,
it was excruciating pressure. That's what it was.
Is that meaning what, Skip?
Meaning that you personally watched up close and personal what LeBron went through last year against your Dallas Mavericks. Was it not the biggest collapse of a superstar that we've ever witnessed on a finals or championship stage?
No, I mean, first of all, it's a team game, right? You guys like to talk in complete generalities where no one can question you. You don't ever use facts. You don't ever use substance. You don't ever use
facts.
No.
And from there, he ripped him to shreds on the grounds of his self-importance.
You have the presumption that people care what you say. They don't. That when the guys go out there,
That's your opinion.
I'm talking about media in general. When guys get ready to play and they're in the locker room, they're not thinking, okay, well, what's written, what's going to be written, what's being said, right? I mean, they're getting prepared. And if you've got a good coach and you've got a good culture, then guys are ready to play no matter what. Like you guys were just talking about, Miami wanted it more or less. Like that is just such horse, you know what.
On Skip's part, he kept making it easy for Mark to tear him down. As Bayless claimed that he was LeBron's Howard Cosell, a legendary sports broadcaster known for his insight and sharp commentary, Cuban saw it as completely delusional, calling out Skip's shallow takes and lack of misunderstanding when it came to actual basketball tactics.
This is a Skip Bayless special. LeBron lost last year because he was paying attention to Skip Bayless. LeBron won this year because he wasn't. That's what you just said.
Okay.
Did he not just say that?
Okay, here's what he didn't do.
When he was on the post, what were the different defensive schemes that Oklahoma City ran last night?
They used Cephalosha on him. They used Durant on him.
When he was in the post, what were the different defensive schemes that they used?
Ibaka was supposed to come hard
He was supposed to come hard, right?
And he did not come hard. He let LeBron get to the rim repeatedly, and Perkins was nowhere to be seen.
I just asked a simple question.
Yeah, I just told you.
No, you said so-and-so was supposed to. No, they doubled from down, right? And they doubled and they passed and they hit their open shots, right? When they kept on doubling, they changed, right? Because they passed it out. Mike Miller hit open shot. But that's just one example.
Did he get in the lane against you guys last year? Not at all in the fourth quarter.
Why do you play a zone, Skip?
Well, again, I've seen him slash up any kind of defense when he feels like it.
Skip, one of the things about
train. You just said you don't have the athletes that they have.
After witnessing his thorough destruction of Skip on national TV, audiences were thrilled, claiming that it underlined everything they already felt about the commentator and his lack of real insight. This has got to be the greatest collapse of a sports writer in ESPN history. It's 10 years later and I'm still trying to figure out how Skip has a job. But if anyone really decimated Skip's reputation and even made him evaluate his own worth, it was Jalen Rose. A regular fixture in the media as a commentator, the former NBA great is never one to hide his feelings. And when he believed that Skip overstepped his boundaries, he didn't miss his chance to level some serious shade in his direction. During a segment where Skip was disputing Russell Westbrook's role as a point guard, Jalen proceeded to rip Bayless to shreds, critiquing his lack of credentials on the court.
The positions were only created so a novice could follow the game. Just because you're a power forward, that doesn't make you physical. Just because you're a shooting guard, that don't mean you can jack up threes.
What were you, Jalen? What were you?
What were you? Did you average 1.4 points as a senior in high school?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so all of that Pistol P stuff, Water Pistol P Junior.
Okay, we'll address that later. We're going to.
Don't ignore that. Did you play junior?
Yeah.
You play JV as a junior?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I followed.
What were you? What was your position?
I had no position.
You were a point guard.
I have no game.
And if there was an occasion where it looked like Skip might burst into tears on air, that was it. As for Jalen, the whole incident seemed like a matter of him biding his time to unleash the ultimate clapback. The incident caused such a stir that Jalen returned the next day, and while he apologized to an extent, he certainly never backed down.
Jalen's back. No one's told you what to say. We have no idea where you're going with this. But what we want to do is, after you look at that, what's your reaction? Do you still stand by the way you approach that?
We're a debate show,
yeah.
As you mentioned. We're not a reality show. And it's up to us to say what's in our head, say what's in our heart as it relates to topics. What normally happens when you debate, whether you're at a barbershop or whether you're on ESPN First Take, sometimes the debate can get personal based on the person's tone.
He went on to explain exactly why he was so passionate about debating basketball.
So if I hear somebody saying something negative about me to attack my credibility as a person and as a player, something that I invested 20 years in playing middle school, high school, college, pro. I'm invested in this. Like, my father was the #1 pick, God rest his soul, in the 1967 draft. Like, I dedicated my life to basketball. So if I feel like somebody wants to cross the line and challenge how I feel about the game, I study this, I do this, I took it personal. And that's what happened yesterday in our debate.
Years on, Jalen has discussed the incident at length, revealing that it was an opportunity to give him a taste of his own medicine.
I was defending the idea that it's okay to name call as your analysis of describing players. Because there was a period of time where he was coming up with nicknames, and when you're giving your description of what you feel like they are as a player or what you felt like their behavior was, my point was there's a way to do that without calling the person by a nickname that's clearly not positive.
Wasn't part of the argument about you being an ex-player and him never playing the game?
That's where it ended up going, because initially it was about Russell Westbrook. It was about the fact that Russell Westbrook wasn't a traditional point guard. So what kind of guard were you? So now, somebody that grew up in the hip-hop era, if I'm going to go on a debate show, I kind of gotta have a couple of counterpoints to make if somebody throws shade.
Because of his hypocritical nature, Skip often can't see his own deficiencies when they're right in front of his face. And among those who proved that during a hostile confrontation with Bayless was FS1 reporter Jenny Taft. During her time on Undisputed, there always seemed to be a bit of tension between Jenny and Skip, especially after he repeatedly hinted at some kind of relationship between her and Shannon, crossing lines that made things awkward both on and off camera.
Now I'm definitely on
You bought
side.
Jenny.
Thank you.
Jenny and I go back like coffee.
Yep. I got that.
Way back.
You bought
side.
Jenny.
Thank you.
Jenny and I go back like coffee.
On with your girl today, and when you come back, she may not be your girl anymore.
I don't see you using any swear words.
I don't know
What?
about that.
I just don't.
No. I do my best not to.
I think you have a lot to learn about your man Shannon.
But no one took this seriously. Instead, seeing it as an indicator of Skip's own feelings of inadequacy. Skip is one of those dudes who are awkward around women. Seen him 1,000 times hating on dudes who are naturally comfortable around ladies. At the time, Jenny seemed to take it all in stride, but that didn't mean she wouldn't fire back whenever she got the chance. The most memorable moment came during a heated argument over former Dallas head coach Mike McCarthy's weight, where Jenny shut Skip down by saying,
If his motivational speech was the most inspiring, but criticizing his appearance, I don't know if I think that is a fair shot for Mike McCarthy. I'm going to leave it at that. Chris Broussard.
Thanks, Jenny. I appreciate that.
I don't think it is a fair shot.
Yeah, well, I don't think that's a fair shot.
Is
either.
everyone
That's my
who's a
opinion.
good coach
Yeah.
as fit as you, Skip? I don't think that's a fair shot whatsoever.
I wouldn't want. I said it was a personal preference,
I've
and I
actually
wouldn't
had
want him
plenty
to
of
be my
coaches
head coach.
that have not had the
Yeah.
perfect ideal physique, including my college coach. So I don't think that's a fair shot.
Okay.
And I'm allowed to have an opinion,
Yep.
Skip. I am allowed to say whatever I want to say on this show, as you do too. Chris Broussard will join us and he will react to Westbrook's comment, and maybe I have more to say next.
Yes.
Unc was trying hard not to laugh. He was so proud of Jenny T. Jenny saw the writing on the wall. She knows Skip Bayless ain't shit. But while things were tense on live television, that was nothing compared to what was happening off camera. Amid the fallout from Skip's misconduct allegations, Jason Whitlock came forward with an explosive claim, saying Skip had allegedly accused Jenny Taft of having a relationship with Shannon Sharp, despite having no evidence to back it up. According to Whitlock, the accusation was so out of line that Jenny filed a formal complaint with HR.
As soon as that show was over, she ran upstairs and lit in to the executives, one executive in particular. This Skip Bayless basically just accused me of sleeping, and Jenny Taft is married, and so she was irate, and this happened on air. This dude is jealous of Shannon Sharp, and he's seeing ghosts everywhere. And Shannon's putting those ghosts out there. Shannon walked around that place like he was banging every makeup and wardrobe girl in the place. But he has baited Skip Bayless, for lack of a better explanation, into a pimp competition. Who can have the most girls in hair and makeup like them, want to be with them? And again, Skip's mindset is competition, and I'm competing with Shannon Sharp. And Shannon Sharp has now baited him into the sexual Olympics, and now Skip Bayless like, oh, he's sleeping with Jenny Taft. Oh, he must be sleeping with Nushin. mean,
which probably explains why, when Jenny later reflected on the end of Undisputed during an interview, she made a point to give credit to only Shannon. Despite the clear distaste that she had for him, Taft was too much of a professional to really air out her issues. But the same can't be said for an all-time NBA great in Charles Barkley, as when it comes to publicly hating on Skip, Chuck is the real MVP.
He said, if I'm ever diagnosed with like a life-threatening illness, just invite Skip Bayless on the show so I can kill him on live TV.
Yeah. If I could get Skip Bayless in a room, and there we need DNA to define who it was when I got through with it.
Only thing I want to do is put my foot up Skip's ass.
Okay.
Man, in my opinion, I always phrase that. I don't want to be one of these idiots on these other networks act like they know everything about all sports. Skip Bayless.
Apparently, the issues between them all trace back to Skip's time as a celebrity coach at one of Spud Webb's legendary All-Star games in Dallas, where he ended up having to sub players in and out, including Charles Barkley.
But I would actually have to make substitutions with the players. So one year, Charles was on my team. I tried to introduce myself to Charles before the game, and he was uninterested in whoever the hell I was. And yet, I did have to take him in and out of the game. So near the end of the game, I leaned over and said, Charles, you want to go back in? I'd like to try to win the game. And he said, brother, I want to win the game too, but my shit hurts. And I'm like, okay, fine.
This led Skip to choose another player for a sub to help win the game. And somehow, it made the tension between them worse.
And I put somebody else in, and it was Rex Chapman. So I put Rex Chapman in place of Charles, and Rex Chapman hit the game winner. That's a true story.
So Tony Kukoc, Scottie Pippen.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It was. Bingo. So that was as close as I ever got to Charles. And then as soon as I started doing this and that for ESPN in the early 2000s, he started on his tirades against me.
While that doesn't seem like it was all that serious, it nonetheless birthed a lifelong hatred, with Charles suggesting that if he had nothing left to lose, he would take Skip down with him.
If I get a disease and I'm gonna die, how about I get Skip Bayless in here and I kill him live on national television?
I like it.
I don't want to call out certain guys.
No, be nice.
Call him out. We know I hate Skip Bayless. And Skip Bayless, the idiot, he's gonna find a way to blame LeBron, even though those guys have played 6 bad games. Because I just want to get Skip Bayless in a room one time and just him like a dog.
Okay, so you kill him.
Yes. If I'm gonna live, I don't want to be in prison because, as Mahorn say, they would love you in prison.
This has been a persistent rhetoric from Charles, one which repeatedly affected Skip and his family to the point that his wife claims that she fears for his safety.
My wife Ernestine has believed for 15 years that Charles Barkley is nothing but a sick individual. To her, he is just pure evil. He is depraved. He is a scumbag. And she believes or fears that one day Charles will somehow, maybe unwittingly or maybe wittingly, inspire some other nut to end my life. And this haunts her. This hurts her because she believes that in the end, Charles Barkley would have my blood on his hands. And if that were Charles's goal from the start, if that was his goal, then I congratulate him because he wins on this one. He has hurt my wife deeply, and she has lost much sleep over this. And I said, look, I don't care about any of the other criticism. He can rip, he can slash, he can say whatever he wants. Just for Ernestine's sake, could he please stop using the K word? Please no more kill.
Despite Skip's pleas, Charles won't let up, and he isn't afraid to kick him while he's down.
Because he's so sensitive and shit. But I think as a player, the first thing, instead of just automatically assuming the guy don't like you or he's wrong, ask yourself, is the criticism fair?
Also claiming he didn't like how Skip never admits when he's wrong.
But also, he brags about it when he gets it right. Like, he'll get 2 out of 5 right. He brags about the 2 instead of saying the 3 he got wrong. And see, I hate guys like that.
He even joined in on everyone roasting him following the buyout from Shannon Sharpe, using it as a way to playfully take shots at his old debate partners.
I read an article today.
You read something?
I did.
Okay.
If you work with a damn idiot, they'll buy you out. So, I'm saying, I read it, I saw it. But apparently, if you work with a damn idiot, they'll buy you out. Okay. So, I just want y'all to know, I'm open to the bout.
Although this beef is very much intact, Skip still lobbied for him to replace Shannon at Undisputed, but in a way that was in no way complimentary.
Charles Barkley would be my dream debate partner on Undisputed. I would dive out of bed every morning out here in Los Angeles at 2 o'clock in the morning to get to work with Charles. Please, Charles, please come and please work with me. All I'd have to do is let Charles go first and listen to him make a fool of himself. I get to sit back and watch him walk himself right into an indefensible trap. I wouldn't even have to try. So please, 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 Charles, come be this damn idiot's debate partner. Please let me annihilate you on a daily basis.
Despite all the shots that he's taken at Skip over the years, Charles Barkley didn't seem to take any pleasure in watching his downfall. In fact, on the Dan Patrick Show, he claimed that wasn't really the case at all, even if people assumed he'd be celebrating it.
But Skip Bayless isn't around anymore, so you don't have to worry about him.
Yeah, I kind of feel bad for the guy. I didn't like the guy, but I feel bad. I feel bad because I don't want bad things to happen to other people.
But Charles is far from the only NBA star who's had enough of Skip's antics. Because if there's one player who's never been afraid to clap back and hit even harder, it's Kevin Durant. Over the course of his career, Kevin Durant has made it abundantly clear that he has no time for Skip, even going out of his way to let him know that "I really don't like you" on Twitter in December of 2021. And this wasn't some one-off moment either, because not long ago, KD found himself back in Skip's crosshairs, with Bayless boldly suggesting that Durant had basically checked out on his team.
The more I watch him at age 36, the more he looks mentally semi-retired to me. He's participating in a documentary that's being made about his life and times, and it just feels to me like he's winding down his basketball. And it's reflecting in the Suns' one-loss record because they started off 8-1 this year. Since then, they've gone 20-31. They're 28-33 overall as we speak. That's 4 games out of the play-in, even though Kevin is putting up tremendous numbers. Kevin Durant style numbers. He's averaging 27, 6, and 4, shooting 53% from the floor and 40% from 3, but they just don't guard because they don't seem to care. They look lifeless to me. They are the flip side of the team at the top of the West standings, the team Kevin started with. That team is motivated to go places. The Phoenix Suns just look like they're done to me because Kevin looks like he's on his last mental legs.
And once again, KD didn't hesitate to clap back at him, declaring, "Fuck it, we're both washed. It was a great run." To no one's surprise, Skip didn't just let it slide. He later doubled down, explaining exactly where he stood on the situation.
Okay, maybe I'm washed, but I definitely don't think KD is physically washed. His body looks great, long and sinewy as ever, no loss of quickness or spring that I can see or tell. No, I'm talking intangibles. Hunger, burning desire to win, to sacrifice, to do whatever it takes. Kevin won his MVP. He won his 2 finals MVPs. He has dominated international basketball the way nobody has ever dominated international basketball. What's left?
While KD clearly isn't fond of Skip, he showed a bit more patience than some of the other athletes who've had to deal with his constant criticism. A prime example of this would actually be KD's former teammate, Russell Westbrook, who has routinely been a punching bag of his throughout his entire career. He even earned his infamous nickname, Westbrick, from the pundit. For the most part, Russell kept it moving and ignored the noise, but there was one instance where he clearly felt it went too far and let it be known. As the Lakers considered drafting Max Christie, a prospect whose 3-point percentages weren't all that impressive, Bayless took to Twitter saying he'll fit in right with LeBron and Westbrook. Immediately, fans didn't exactly understand why he was fixating on Russell at a time like this. On draft night, you'd be tweeting about Westbrook. You are a weirdo. But after years of his hate and good humor, Westbrook finally took exception to it and let him know that he could catch the hands for less. Watch your mouth. Don't say anything you wouldn't say to my face. Afterwards, Skip refused to back down, asking for a debate as opposed to a confrontation in the vein that Westbrook was looking for.
Hey, Russell Westbrook. Happy to talk face to face about the nickname I believe I originated in 2012. Join me on TV/podcast. Let's talk about how you'll make $47 million next year after being the worst 3-point shooter in the NBA. most overpaid player ever? Please join me.
And while Skip might have treaded lightly when it came to Charles Barkley, he's never shown the same caution with Russell Westbrook. Even now, he still throws jabs at Russ, claiming that he's not the player people hyped him up to be, just like he did nonstop back in the Undisputed days.
All your points are valid. They're strong. They're correct. I'm sorry. He's just more trouble than he's worth.
How do you know?
I don't see it. I wouldn't want him on my team. I don't care whether I'm 3 games under 500 like the Bulls or I think I got a shot like the Clippers to win it all. He's still first in the NBA in turnovers per 36 minutes. He has fallen now to 149th of 150 qualified three-point shooters. He's 29.6%.
Although it's not really his style, Westbrook might actually want to take Skip on that offer to debate. Cause history shows that when players confront Skip head on, it's led to some of the most iconic moments where he's been completely torched on air. During the peak of his career, Richard Sherman had plenty of smoke for Skip, after being constantly criticized during his time with the Seahawks. Eventually, the non-stop shade pushed Sherman to confront him face to face on the show, and when he did, he didn't hold back one bit.
Skip can say whatever he wants, but Skip, whenever you refer to me, whenever you speak to me, whenever you address me as all-pro Stanford graduate, because those are some accomplishments you can aspire to, you will never accomplish. You have never accomplished anything.
Okay, I'll accept that. I think I've accomplished more in my field than you have in yours, though you're just getting started.
So I'm the top of my field. So I'm all-pro. I'm the best, one of the best 22 players in the NFL. You're going to brush it off, but I don't think you're the best 22 anything. In my 24 years of life, I'm better at life than you.
Okay.
So
all right, that's fair.
Let's get down to that.
Let's not get personal here.
And while Skip struggled to prevent it from getting personal, Sherman doubled down and sought to annihilate Bayless once and for all.
I am intelligent enough, capable enough to understand that you are ignorant, pompous, egotistical, cretin. And that's really what it comes down to. And I'm gonna crush you on here in front of everybody because I'm tired of hearing about it.
In this exchange, Sherman exhibited all the disgust that people often have for Skip. But it turns out that even the fiercest rivalries can cool off. Because years later, Sherman and Skip actually squashed the beef. Sherman even pulled up to Undisputed as a guest host, where the two reflected on their past clash and how far they had come ever since then.
Richard's been saying that he's already better than Darrelle Revis. And I said, I don't see that yet. Not yet.
All I can hear is the disrespect in my ear. Skip, I'm sitting there like, not even like, hey, he's in the same ballpark or, he's coming on or he's like, he's not even in the same stratosphere. I said, okay, this is disrespect, Skip. Skip, I'm gonna have to respond to this as soon as possible. So when I got on the show, it was like the first chance I get. I don't care the question. I'm dropping it.
You came hard.
While his biggest downfall may have come with his own misconduct, which ultimately derailed his TV career, it was Skip's combative nature that made him one of the most disliked figures in both the NBA and NFL. And for that reason, fans have always relished the moments when someone finally puts him in his place, reminding him that his so-called authority isn't as untouchable as he thinks. Now that he's on the outs with mainstream media, that influence is looking shakier than ever.